Hello everybody and welcome back to Steve's Gear. And today we're going to take a look at the Maxpedition Falcon II backpack. Now big thank you to Maxpedition for sending this out for me to take a look at. I've been enjoying it so far. Now I've actually done several backpacks over the last couple of years on the channel, and this one's kind of becoming one of my favorite ones. And I want to show you guys why. So, I've owned several Maxpedition bags. Most of them have been sling bags, and I've always used them as like range bags or pew-pew bags or something like that. I've never owned one of their backpacks. And for me, whenever I thought of Maxpedition, I would think like tactical, military, things like that. Now, while it does have that kind of aesthetic, this backpack would be pretty versatile for quite a few different options. I could see myself using this as a carry-on bag. You could use this if you're somebody who goes to the gym in the morning and maybe goes to the office in the afternoon, or maybe you commute by bicycle, or you just want a hiking backpack with a little bit more organization in it. This could come in pretty handy. So let's take a look at it and see if it might work something good for you. Now let's go through a couple of the specs here real quick. Right now, this bag is going for $136 and some change on Amazon for this specific black color. Now it has available in multiple different colors. Each one kind of has its own price. And then on Maxpedition's website, this is coming in at about $210. But a lot of times they have their buy one, get one free sale going on. So you could pick up some more gear, get it for free. And then, it would kind of lower the cost of the bag if you needed multiple items. So I'll put links to both of those in the description if you want to check that out. Now, this is a 23-liter backpack. Comes in at about 18 inches tall, about 9 inches wide, and about 10 inches deep. Obviously, it's dependent on how much stuff you have shoved in there. It does have some flexibility. So, you can compress it down pretty tight, or you can, fill it way up. So that's kind of nice about that. Now, you do get Maxpedition's typical 1000D heavy-duty fabric, ballistic nylon. And it's great. It's great material. If you've ever owned anything by Maxpedition, you know that their material is top quality. Their stitching is very, very tight and very, very nice. You get number 10 YKK zippers. All of them have nice paracord lanyard pulls on them. You just get good quality. Something that's going to last. If you're going to spend your money on this, at least something that's going to hold up for a while. Now, here on the bottom of the bag, you also get a kind of a reinforced section here on the bottom, which is nice. If you're going to be setting this down a lot, this is more heavy duty, kind of like a rubber material. It probably helps against punctures and things like that, which I do like. Bottoms of bags are typically a soft spot or a spot that can wear out quickly. This one, at least it's going to be covered for a while. Now you get a couple straps down here on the bottom if you want to, put something bigger in here, maybe like a small sleeping bag or a small tent, or maybe stuff a coat or something like that. You can stuff those down there, cinch them up, and then keep it in there. Now you do get a couple drainage holes here for the kind of this fifth pocket, which you can keep a water bladder in, which I have one in here. I'll show you in a few minutes. But at least if something leaks, that it'll have a place to go. So that's nice. Now the back of the backpack, you do get some nice padded straps. These are the AS100 closed cell foam. You get a nice padded back here, nice padded straps. And one thing I can say about this backpack is I'm kind of a bigger dude. Now, if you're a bigger dude, sometimes that finding backpacks that fit good are hard, and this one fits me good. I like it. So if you're a bigger guy, don't be afraid of this one. It does work good. Now, you do get kind of an adjustable shoulder strap here, if you want to use that. Nice Duraflex buckles they use on here. Now, on the bottom, you also get a waist strap. For how I'm going to use this backpack, it's not something I'm going to use, really. So I did kind of cinch it all up. You get some elastic cord keepers here. So I just kind of have it neatly tucked away down there. On the straps, you also do get a little bit of MOLLE. You get some buckles here if you need to clip something on them. So plenty of versatility in that as well. Now here on the top, you get a nice heavy-duty grab handle. As you can see, even the handle's kind of folded over, double-stitched. You get some nice X stitching here on the straps. Just overbuilt. It's going to last a while, which is something I do appreciate. You also get a little clip here for your water bladder hose if you want to use that. I have it clipped in here right now. On the side, you do get a couple compression straps. It's always nice to have the compression straps, if you're going to use this for day hikes or bike rides or something like that. It's always kind of annoying when you can feel stuff bouncing up and down in the backpack. Cinch this thing nice and tight. It should help hold stuff pretty tight against you. You also get another one here on the front to kind of hold everything together even more. So you can use that. Very easy to manipulate. Now let's take a look here at the bag. We'll go through some of the pockets and stuff like that in a minute. Now you do get some MOLLE attachments, quite a few. You get some on this front patch here. You get some more down here on this bottom, which I do have a few things attached to it. I didn't want to go overboard with it, but I have a fixed blade here. I do have a little Phoenix AA powered flashlight. Here on the side, I actually have another one of their pouches attached here using some tack straps. I have a little video about this if you want to see that. But it's very secure. Once you have it on there, you could lift the whole bag by it, no problem at all. Stuff secures on there very well. And on this side, I just have a little Key Unity, kind of like a bolt-eye tool carabiner with a paracord strap and a little ring here, which I've just kind of woven that water bladder through to make it a little bit more condensed. And then you get those compression straps here. So we'll undo those. And I also threw a little Gobber safety light by Olight on here. Kind of nice to have. They can flash red, use them for white light, things like that. Now for me, I'm going to use this backpack as something that's just like a vehicle carry. Now, I don't want to go too much into the gear. The gear is not the important part. I want to show you guys the backpack, but I just want to say that I do have more gear in the vehicle. Shovel, toe straps, tools, you know, some soft shackles. I have an air compressor, tire repair kit. You know, I have some of the basic stuff you would travel with. This is just a few accessories if I was to maybe get stuck going over the pass behind a crash or something, or I slid into a ditch and I'm going to be there for a couple hours. At least I have a few things in here to use if I needed to. And there's a few more things I want to add to it, but I'll just show you what I got going on so far. So right here on the front is a little dump pouch. And I'm just going to keep some quick accessible stuff in here. You know, I threw like some Carmex in there, a Purell wipe, you know, eyeglass lens wipes, some hot hands, a couple of these little water towelettes. And I'll probably throw a few little quick use things in here, just in case I need to grab something out of there. You know, I'm really good in the cold. I'm kind of a big dude. But one thing about me is my hands and my feet get cold first. So it's always nice to have some hot hands. Now down here in this main pocket, this front pocket here, it's kind of like a little admin pocket here. Now I don't have a ton of stuff in there. Like I said, I have normally stuff in the center console, so I don't need a whole lot of extra stuff in here. I threw a toothbrush in there and some toothpaste. You know, and some floss. If you're stuck on the side of the road for a lot of hours, you know, you might want to brush your teeth or something. At least I might. I got a little bit of sunscreen in here, because even though it might be super cold and in the winter, you know, if you're out there in the bright sun, looking at the snow all day, you can get a little bit of sunburn. I got a little mini Sharpie in here, a little, kind of like a little pocket pen, and then I have a Write in the Rain notebook. You know, in case I did get stuck and want to leave a note on the vehicle or something, at least I can put it on there, not to worry about the ink washing away. But yeah, you get basically two a little bit larger size pockets and two a little bit smaller size pockets here, and then you get the one big dump back in the back. But plenty of room in here if you want to, you know, there's still some good or fold out, you know, it's gusseted, so it folds out a little bit. You can stuff more stuff in there if you needed to. I may add a few things in there in the future. Now, next you have kind of like your, I guess you could say your third pocket. We'll take a look at that real quick. Now, this is a pretty good sized pocket. Folds out nicely. I got some Cottonelle wipes in there. I think we all know what those are for. You're stuck out there for a couple hours. I have the Maxpedition Falcon II. Now, I have a video of this out if you want to see what's in here. But basically, it's some fire making stuff. It's the Firebox Nano stove, a few things like that. In case I need to do something, you know, if I need to warm some water up is the big thing. Now, I do plan on throwing in like a Mountain House meal in here. Maybe some oatmeal or something. Something easy, shelf stable. I just haven't went through all the bins in the garage to pull something out yet. Carry a little first aid kit. Now, typically I always have first aid kits in the vehicle anyways, but this is just some basics. You know, Band-Aids, antiseptic wipes, little things like that. Some moleskin, just in case I need it. Some bright orange paracord. You never know when you might need it. You know, I like to carry the bright orange in the winter, just in case. Now, in this pocket here, same thing. It's plenty of expandability on this pocket. You could stuff quite a bit of stuff in there. As you can see what I had in there, you know, I could put plenty more stuff in there. You do get a couple mesh pockets here. Oh, I also have some rechargeable batteries as well in here. This one's a little tougher to get out. So if I can get these out of here, there we go. Got some extra rechargeables in there. That little light on the front uses one AA battery, so I could power it for a long time with that. Now you get two mesh pockets here that are separated. One big dump pocket here. Put some extra stuff in here. So yeah, pretty good versatility in that one. Now up here, I typically just undo this snap. Kind of move this water bladder line out of the way here. And we'll open up this main pocket. Now the main pocket is nice if you were going to use this bag for travel or to carry extra clothes, gym clothes, things like that, because it does fold completely open. So good, good amount of storage in here. I'm a bigger dude. This would easily cover me for an overnight trip, probably 2. I have a little Kelty blanket in here, just in case I needed to, sit in the driver's seat and wrap up my legs or my feet or something like that. Very close to like a Rumble bag or a Rumble blanket, if you ever heard of those. Just a different brand. I have a little single-walled stainless steel water bottle in here by MSR. There was actually a different brand one that I liked better, but it didn't fit as well in here, so I stuck this one in here. Now, I could warm up some snow or something in here to melt, put it on a fire and heat it up. It's always nice to have a single-walled container if you're going to be messing with fire. You don't want to be heating up stuff in a double-walled, so I just keep that in there just in case I need it. Now, like I said, my feet are always cold, so I got a nice thick pair of wool socks in here, just in case I'm out digging myself out of a ditch or something. At least I can change my socks. Same thing, you're going to want some waterproof gloves. I like these gloves. They're waterproof, got some good grip, lined on the inside. They keep your hands fairly warm and waterproof, so I like those. And then I have kind of like a little baklava in here, just to kind of help protect against the wind. If I do have to go out for a while and the wind's blowing, at least I can keep my face a little bit warm. Now here on this main compartment here, you do get a zippered pouch right here. If you want to unzip this, you can stuff a few things in there. And then on this side here, you do also get another mesh pouch here. So a little bit of organization. I could see myself using this, like I said, for travel or even day hikes. You could store some food in here, change of clothes, little things like that. Even some of those very lightweight, camp pads, things like that, you could put it in here if you want to sit and have a picnic, have a blanket, stuff like that. That would work out pretty good. So we'll close this up. Now the last pocket on here is actually kind of like the 5th pocket. Now this is the pocket where you can put a water bladder in. So I actually have this an old camel bag, 1 liter bag in here. Now it does have a little clip here on the top, a little strap where you can clip it in there. I just don't have it clipped in there, but it does have a little piece in here if you want to clip that. And I figured, what, if I'm going to be traveling, I typically always have like a Yeti water bottle or something, but it's not going to hurt me to fill this up with an extra liter of water just in case I need it. Now inside here, you do also have kind of like a, fabric padded back here. So, if you want to stick a, a little pew-pew holster or something on there, you should be able to Velcro run right here on the inside for a little bit of a concealed carry. Now, the pocket's not very big. You could probably fit an iPad in there. I think you'd be a little too small for like a, a laptop or something, but it is padded. If you had something in there you wanted to put in there that wasn't going to, maybe get damaged as quickly, you could put that in there. So, pretty cool, pretty easy. This little top part here is Velcro where it passes through. So pretty nice. So if you don't have that in there, you just Velcro that closed and it will seal it up. But yeah, that's just a few items that I've thrown into this Maxpedition Falcon II. And as you can see, once you have everything out, it does compress down pretty small. So if you only had a few things you wanted to put in there, it's pretty easy. For me, the pros of this backpack is, 1, the durability. It is very well built, very tough, very strong. I think it's going to be one that, you're going to pay a little bit more now, but it's going to last a long time. I don't see this one failing anytime soon, unless you really, really abuse it. And I think you'd have to give it quite a bit of abuse to get it to fail. 2 is the versatility. Plenty of organization, plenty of ways to keep your stuff organized. You could use this for so many different things, like I said. It does fit the bill for a lot of different things. And you don't have to have stuff clipped on the outside. You could always just leave it blank on the outside, and that would be just fine. One con, I guess, for this one for me would be I like that they used the elastic straps for the excess straps on the waist pocket, on the waist belt. I wish they had those on more, more things, so you can help keep some of these straps a little bit more tidy. That's just one of my personal preferences. I would like to see that maybe in a future version. Other than that, though, I don't have a whole lot of cons for it. It's something that's I'm going to be able to grow with. I can use it in the wintertime, like I said, for a winter carry bag. In the summertime, if I want to go out and hit some trails and stuff, I could keep, my trail gear in here, keep extra shorts or, a little bit of fishing stuff. Or if I'm going to go out and film some stuff, I can carry a little small tripod or something, some flashlights, things like that. So, something you can kind of grow with, use every season. And or if you want to just have it at your house as a go bag, you know, keep all your stuff in there in case you need it. But yeah, that's just kind of a quick look at this bag here. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.